Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Going to read through this full article. It's actually quite long. It's quite long. We're going to go through that, and it's a tragic case again. A mother strangles her 5-year-old daughter to death. The daughter is called Elijah Thomas. I hope I pronounced it correctly. There she is. She was strangled by her mother. She has a Slovakian background. We're going to go into the full details there. She's been sentenced to 5 years in jail, a very, very light sentence. And the reasoning for the light sentence is due to diminished responsibility. She's been deemed to. I mean, we'll read the correct terms as we go through the article, but in essence, she's been deemed insane or being in a period of insanity. So the judge saw fit to grant her a mere 5 year sentence for murdering her child. I mean, I guess that's a bit of a talking point. I don't know what the answer is. My gut feeling is, well, hang on, that's not good. That's way, way, way too light. Boris Johnson has talked about having a mandatory life sentence for any and all child murderers. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. I'm not very well educated on the subject. If someone would like to inform me, I'd be grateful. I'd be happy to. I definitely will. Read the comments if anyone wants to give me their opinion. But I do feel that. Hang on, what's my point? I don't really feel that having mental issues should abscond, if that's the right word, abscond somebody of their responsibility. Um, I don't think it allows for justice to be served if the offenders are given a pass. And that may be not the best, the best thought through opinion. It's not that sophisticated an opinion. It's pretty black and white, and perhaps we ought to be a little bit more nuanced and take into account certain factors. I don't know. I've read through some articles one in particular, where a lady laid her baby down on the train tracks and she laid herself down too. The baby died. I've made a video on it. And in that situation, and also in other situations where a young mother abandons the baby, so often in unsafe circumstances, a baby was died of she froze to or he froze to death in Chicago just a week or so ago. I made a video in regards to that. Um, I do feel some level of empathy for the culprit, the mothers in those circumstances. This one, I don't know. I just feel 5 years is disgustingly low. It's not adequate. Even if the murderer, the culprit, um, was suffering from mental illness, be that permanent or temporary, I don't think it makes sense to give him a pass. Oh, you're having a bad day, were you? Okay, okay. Maybe I'm being a little bit too flippant by saying that you're having a bad day, but anyway, there's my thoughts. That's a 4 minute ramble for you. But now we're going to read through the full article, and that it's in itself is going to take some time. A 5-year-old girl begged her mother not to kill her as she strangled her to death at home. Martina Madarova had put on cartoons for her daughter Elijah Thomas before carrying out the act as the child said, "Mummy, don't kill me." Madarova proceeded to strangle Elijah before tucking her in with a blanket at their home in Ealing, West London. The 41-year-old had been suffering with her mental health and turned to alcohol during the COVID lockdown and had been in a dark place the night before her daughter's tragic death. She was given a 5-year jail sentence after a judge ruled that she had low responsibility over Elijah's death. There is the mother. A court heard that in the months leading up to the incident, family members and friends were concerned for Madarova's well-being as she appeared increasingly stressed. She was concerned for her income after her hours as a carer had been reduced and had become anxious after missing the deadline to enroll Alijah at school, along with concerns about her mother contracting COVID and being stuck in the flat all day. She had eventually begun to turn to alcohol as a coping mechanism. In a statement read by prosecutor Duncan Atkinson, Elijah's father, David Thomas, who still maintained a close relationship with Madarova, said, and here's a quote from the father, "The week before Elijah's death, I took 4 days off to help sort out the school place and to calm Martina down as she was not herself. It was clear she was not herself. I was asking her to get herself checked into the GP as she seemed depressed. She was putting a lot of pressure on herself. During our discussions about things, she would start crying and just walk off into another room." On the morning of September the 14th, Elijah's father had left early for work and was notified a few hours later from a phone call from Madarova that their daughter was dead. Due to his distance from the family home, he called his brother and a family friend who rushed to the scene. There, they found Alijah tucked into a blanket as if to go to sleep, but she had no pulse and was cold to the touch. Emergency services were called, but Alijah was pronounced dead at the scene. Mr. Atkinson, the prosecutor, the prosecutor, Mr. Atkinson, told the court that Madarova, the mother, a Slovakian national, had drunk 2 bottles of wine and told the family friends present, "She's not there anymore. I've done it. I've failed my daughter." Whilst in the ambulance, he also said, "My daughter, what have I done? My daughter, her life. I took her life. She was the most beautiful thing." Elijah's last moments were then revealed after Madarova told paramedics that her daughter had said, "Mummy, don't kill me." She had responded, "I don't want to kill you. I just want to help you. No, baby, you're safe." To which Alijah had replied, "No, Mummy, you're killing me." Her plan had been to kill her daughter and then commit suicide herself. Whilst in police custody, she was described as distressed, and when questioned if she heard voices in her head, she replied, "What I have done is not normal. I'm going to be all over the news. The voices in my head told me to do it now. I deserve the death sentence. It's rare when a mother suffocates her own child. I'm a murderer at the end of the day." When asked by a psychiatrist for her version of events, she said, "I know I took Ali from the bedroom to the living room. I put cartoons on for her. She was finding me crying. I was with her for a while. It was very embarrassing, my daughter trying to help me. That's when I felt like a failure, emotional, physical, and spiritual mess. Nothing was right." The mother was charged with her daughter's murder, and in a hearing on December the 7th, she pleaded guilty to manslaughter by reason of diminished responsibility. A moving impact statement from Elijah's father, David Thomas, was read aloud to the court, in which he described the devastating impact her death had had on his family. I'm just going to pause one moment. I just want to apologize if I'm mispronouncing her name. If I am, it's not intentional. I've just noticed that in most of the articles so far, it's spelling her name with a J, so I've thought Alijah, but here it's spelling her name with a Y. Alijah? Is it Alijah? Alijah? Is it Alijah? I'm going to go with Alijah. So apologies if I've been mispronouncing Alijah's name incorrectly. Back to the article. Yes, so here's an impact statement I'm going to read through from her father. I don't think I'll ever get over losing her in this way. She was a bright child. We would take to the tube together, and I'll miss those little adventures together. She would ask questions and we would talk about the world. I was so proud of her. She would have been an athlete. She had speed. I will miss everything about her, watching her sleep, her giving me a hug before bed, patting her hair, brushing her hair. Speaking of Madarova, he said his family held no malice towards her and said that she was the best mum who would never have intentionally hurt their daughter unless for her mental health. So he said, the father said, she is the most innocent person you could meet. She sees the good in everyone and everything. I am very shocked by what has happened, as this is just not her. Martina would do anything for me or Alijah. She did not like violence and would not allow Alijah to watch cartoons which had an element of violence in them. Describing his own mother as his rock, he said, she's not only upset at losing Alijah, but by the fact that Martina is sitting in a prison. She does not have a bad word to say against her. She finds it hard to sleep for thinking about Martina. The judge noted that prior to the incident, the mother, Madarova, had been an exemplary mother and that there was no evidence of her mistreating Alijah at any time before the incident. However, he did tell the defendant that she had ignored multiple warnings from friends and family to seek medical advice and had failed to do so, turning to alcohol instead. Labeling it a case of low responsibility, he told the court, there are understandable reasons why someone in your condition might not seek the help you so badly needed. He acknowledged her genuine remorse and told her you have to live with what you did for the rest of your life. Madarova was visibly emotional in the dock and cried throughout her sentencing. Alijah's father, who sat throughout the hearing, was praised for his approach to the tragic case, with the judge telling him, how very impressed I have been by the way you have approached these matters. No one could behave with higher dignity. So there is the full article. Again, I'm not sure of her pronunciation. It is, her name is spelt differently within the article. I'm not sure which one is correct. What a tragic situation. My feelings have changed a little bit. My feelings have changed whilst going through this article. Maybe a reduced sentence is justified. I'm not sure. I'm kind of confused about it. Yeah, I'm kind of confused. There was seemingly no ongoing abuse of any kind. The father, who's clearly distraught, naturally so, he's remaining very, very supportive of the mother, and yeah. So I mean, the family seems to believe that she was a good woman, and if it weren't for this period of mental illness, then no tragedy would have occurred. So I guess with that is very different to those people that purposefully murder, that commit ongoing abuse of a child. It is different. So I guess given it's different, I guess a different sentence is appropriate. 5 years though, still, it's not a lot. It's really not a lot. But where's the solution here? I don't suppose there is a solution. So I'll wrap things up here. I mean, if you've stuck with me, if you listened for 15 minutes, then thank you very much. It's nice to have a conversation with yourself. If you've been here for 15 minutes, to leave a comment, etc. Give me your thoughts. What a tragedy.